everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So excited to see you. If you are here live, welcome on in. Today, I'm going to do a session on how to stack for success. And I have opened this session up to everybody. So if you are not, my mic and my sweatshirt all in order here. If you have not already jumped into the Stacked program, you're like, just kind of jumped in to see what this is, you're in the right place, because I'm going to cover a little bit in the beginning here about what Stacked is. As you guys know, I like to have music on no matter what. I'm just going to make sure it's low. But welcome on in. So, my name's Bree, for those of you guys that don't know. And Stacked is a brand new program that just launched. And it's 4 weeks right now that we're in for phase number 1. And so this session today is going to talk a little bit about the concept behind Stacked, what it is, and how to stack your workouts to truly get the most out of this program. I also want to back up and just kind of explain a little bit about the fact that this program is so customizable, but that also can kind of make it where you're going to need to put in a little effort here in the beginning to plan your schedule. So what you put into it is always what you get out of it. So is everything in our life, right? So I really just encourage you as part of the program to just dedicate the time here in the beginning, and that's why I'm dedicating extra session time to kind of help you do that. So also, as kind of a side note, if you need individual help and want individual help building your individual schedule, then just reach out. My goal always with group programs is to make it a group program, but have enough options, because I really do recognize that we are all individuals, we are all unique, and I want to make sure that everybody has the options to really customize it. So this is hands down the most customizable program I've ever released. And I'm just going to go over here in the beginning, and I'm just going to slide over because my overlay is going to be right here. But here is all the different stack options that you have as part of the Stacked program. So for those of you guys enrolled, this is your program guide. I hope you read it. 20 pages well worth the time spent to go through it. So number 1, and I also want to mention too, if you have questions, drop them in the chat, because I will get to them at the end for sure. I want this to be a Q&A where you can ask whatever questions you have as well, so we can make this a back and forth. And it helps me, because I'm going to put together an FAQ for future Stacked attendees. All right, so Stacked has many different workout options. The main one that I always want you to prioritize is our strength workouts. So the main strength, we do have Stacked strength, but these are split up into 4 different splits, and these are the priority every single week. Now, in addition to this, you have your warm-up and cool-down that are separate. That way, when you do stack your workouts together, you can easily do that. But just as a overall, you always want to start with a warm-up, and you always want to start with finish with a cool-down. So if you're doing just your main strength, you're going to be doing all warm-up, main strength, and cool-down, and it's going to be 30 minutes start to finish. So that is like the base minimum of this program. But then from there, we have options to add on. So in addition to your stacked strength workouts, we also have stacked strength add-on workouts. And those are going to range from 10 to 15 minutes. And in your portal, you guys will see that I've organized what stacked strength workouts I suggest after each main strength workout. And you'll see it's listed as optional, and you can stack more. But I'm just going to go through first all the different options that you have, and then we'll go through how to customize the schedule and really get the most out of your program. So your stacked strength workouts, and then in your manual, you see I have the sets, the reps, the workout length, kind of the theory behind it. So make sure you read all of that. And then we have our HIIT stacks. And I want you to think of these as finishers if you want to stack it on to your main strength days, or they're going to be on your optional days where you have your non-strength days where you're going to do mobility and HIIT. And in your calendar, you'll see that there's mobility and HIIT days as well. So these add-on HIIT stacks, there's 4 as part of this initial phase 1 stacked program, and then I put in other workouts in the library that you can choose from, and they range from 10 to 15 minutes. And and they're easily added on. And many of them have a quick little intro warm-up and don't have a big cool down. That way you can really stack them in and then go into the cool down when you're done with your workout. So I made sure, and that also, there's a lot of responsibility in there, that's why I keep reiterating it, because not all of your stacks have a warm-up and a cool down. You've got to promise me that you always insert those at the beginning and at the end. Okay, next we have mobility stacks. And these, you guys, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a story here in the beginning because I think it's really relevant and important. So as you guys know, I'm all about us being able to make fitness a lifelong habit. And in order to do that, we gotta make sure that we are prioritizing our mobility so that we can remain physically active without having to deal with injuries. Now, injuries can often be a example, or I should say a result of overuse. So if you're doing the same movement patterns, which we typically do throughout our day, like check it out, I'm just gonna show you an example. I sit like that a lot, so I need to switch because just doing those kind of motions repetitively can actually cause overuse injuries, right? Mobility is your key to making sure that you stay balanced and counteracting anything that you could be doing, and it's unintentional. It doesn't mean you always have poor form, it's just the nature of how we move. So mobility is so super important. The story I want to tell you is that just personally, when I was putting this whole series together for you guys and shooting it, it was a lot of work physically for me. I plugged in mobility separate of shooting them live for you guys, and that helped my body be able to do all the workouts. Mobility is gonna unlock the magic in your body, and it's also gonna help you get the most out of your sessions so you see even more progress. So I can't stress enough how important these mobility stacks are in your weekly routine. So if you want to really, really trust me on that, put these in daily. Hi, Stephanie. Great to see you, girl. If you have any questions, Stephanie, I don't know if you just jumped in, but just drop them in the comments and I will answer all the questions. But mobility, you guys, and if you see, you have a bunch of different options. They're all 10 to 15 minutes, and they detail out those specific muscle groups. Just for the lower body alone, there's 3 different ones, and I even split the hips up into hips and low back, and then hip flexors and abductors. So it's that important, but I can't stress enough, and I hope I did it justice to tell you, put these in there. Okay, next we have, whoops, there we go, stretch stacks. And these are 10 to 15 minutes, and they are going to be either standalones or they can be your extended cool down option. So the way you make these a standalone option is these are wonderful. Wake up in the morning, want to loosen up your body and stretch? Perfect. Want to do a quick brain break? Mobility or stretch? Perfect. You want to do a quick little calm the body before you go to sleep? Boom, plug this in. So that's also what makes these fantastic. So they can be extended cool downs on your strength days, or they can be standalone sessions literally whenever you want to just move your body. Highly, highly recommend. You'll see also I have put in some of my favorite 5 and 5 and 10 and 10 formats, and those are 5 moves in 5 minutes or 10 moves in 10 minutes, making it really easy for you to slide in. All right, so now that we've gone over all of our different options for, there we go, our stacks. Now let's go over how to stack for success, because really, you guys, it's going to be how you plan your schedule that's going to be the most important piece here in the beginning as we kick off this program. So if you want me to take the guesswork out of it for you, you can follow one of these calendars, and that's totally fine, but I'm going to teach you in the next couple slides how to customize it. But in your manual, you have 3 different options that you see, and then in your portal, you can actually access all of these calendars. I also just wanted it to be really informative, so you could see that if you're doing a single stack, this is how you would do it. If you're doing a double stack, this is kind of how you would structure it, and if you're doing a triple stack. And the time associated with each one, single stack is going to be about 30 minutes. Double stack is going to be about 40 to 45. Triple stack can be 50 to 60 plus, because you can stack on as many as you want. And I encourage you guys, as part of our community that's going through this together, post what your stacks are. You might actually, spawn a thought in somebody else, like, oh, that's kind of a cool way to stack it. So I encourage you to share, because this is just kind of a template, and then I really am excited to see how you guys make this your own. Okay, next up, let's go over how to customize it. So this is gonna be how you're gonna make this program work for you specifically. Now, I mentioned in the beginning that it's really important that I have options for everybody, but this is so key because this means that every single level, no matter when you're coming into this program, you can make this work for where you're at. So I'm trying to meet you exactly where your fitness level is right now. And then I also want to mention, don't feel like you have to do it all. You really want to be picking sustainable stacks that you can maintain long term. And I will tell you why. I don't think the fitness industry does a really great job at explaining this. So these, get fit in 30 days type programs, they throw a lot at you and then it's like, okay, you're done. You can't go into a program and then think it's only for this chunk of time that I'm gonna exercise. We do these in chunks, but as you know, I'm always releasing programs so that we're continuing to move. But it's really important that you are moving consistently week over week over week, no matter what program we're in. And by consistently, I mean days and the amount of time. And I'll tell you why. If you put in a lot of work, but then after the 4 weeks, you scale back, your body's going to start to get used to that amount of work, and then you might see a tick up in the scale. And you don't want to be, basically you want to be doing stuff that you can sustain long term, and that's how you're going to find a really great groove where you're not experiencing these fluctuations of up and downs. So forget about a diet and forget about a short-term weight loss goal as far as exercise. Let's think about sustainable results, sustainable amount of exercise you can do each week, and then you're just gonna maintain it. And then the fun part is, I mix up how we do it together. So just commit when you're customizing to what you truly think you can do long term. Don't think of it as a short fix. So that's step number one. You're gonna think about the number of days that you can truly commit to consistently. Then it's really great to pick a time of day that's gonna work for you and be consistent with that. And it can be, consistent time on the weekdays, consistent time on the weekends. The reason this works so well is because if you can put this in and make it kind of a habit and a consistent habit, it's gonna take out the need for motivation because it's just part of your routine. So it's just a suggestion. You don't have to do the same time every day. It's not mandatory, but it does help. Step 3, what workout length are you able to commit to in your life consistently? And it goes with what I've been saying. You gotta truly pick what you can do long term. If you can honestly look at your schedule and go, you know what, long term, I can do 30 minutes a day, then do 30 minutes a day and then lean in and be consistent with that. You're like, I can manage about 40 or 45, I can do 2 stacks. Lean in, be consistent. And if you also have days where you can do 30, other days you can do longer, it doesn't have to be the same amount of time every day. So I know that's a lot, it's like a lot of flexibility, but it's a beautiful thing, right? So just don't think of it as, oh my gosh, there's so many options. Think of it as, I get to customize this to truly meet me where I'm at. And because I care so much about your results long term, I'm really prefacing that you gotta do something that works for you now and works for you in a year. Not that you have to your schedule in a year, but in general, right? I know for myself, I'm gonna always move my body 5 to 6 days a week. I move 7 days a week, but I don't go really hard 7 days a week. But I know I commit to that, so I have no problem putting it in my routine because I'm always gonna do that. The modality might change, but I'm committed to that consistency. So just think of it that way. Okay, next, after you go steps 1 through 3, number 4, define what your goals are. So this can also change. So I also want this to be something that you think about just the next 4 weeks. What are your goals? And this system that we're learning and practicing in Stacked is honestly a system that you can carry through and that we will carry through in future programs, because this is how you can make not only a program work, this program work, but how you can utilize the entire on-demand library to work in a stacked way, right? A lot of us already do that. I'm trying to get everyone to kind of understand that you can see workouts as piecemeal and putting together what works for you, and This page calls out how you can kind of think about each format and style of workout to match what your goals are. So these are the goals that I think are kind of top of mind. If you have other goals that you maybe want to ask, hey, what about this goal specifically? What would you recommend? I'm always here for you. Just know that. Always here for you. So creating consistency would be number one, building muscle. And I kind of put these in order right off the bat of what I like the most. Building muscle, you guys. Muscle is the key to our youth and our longevity. Build muscle. Muscle. I cannot stress it enough. So that's why those 4 strength stacks are so important. And then I would add in the add-ons as well. Move better. Oh, mobility, right? Improve your cardio endurance. So I want you to think of those HIIT stacks as cardio endurance, not burning calories. Because a lot of times you're going to go, well, 10 minutes. It's really about building the endurance and the heart health. Everything that you want as far as your weight loss goals will come as a result of being active consistently in your diet. And you see that in here as well. So drop body fat. You want to have a really nice even mix of everything, and you want to watch your diet. Side note and a call out. I really am always here for you guys to support you on your diet. It is just such an individual thing. So reach out to me and we can work together one-on-one. I'm working on a group program, but it's still in development because you guys have to understand my mentality for you is I know everybody's so unique, and I'm never going to put something out there that's just a cookie cutter diet. It just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It's not responsible for me to say this is what everybody should eat and this is the amount of calories everybody should eat, because we're all different. And I actually think that that's the most amazing thing about the human body. So that's why, if you're ever curious, I would not subscribe to the get a 6-pack in 30 days type of mentality. It is more, let's just get healthy, let's stay consistent, and all the results will follow. So forget about the scale. Just lean into consistency. And then the next one is improve your flexibility and then feel better. So these are really great goals, and you don't have to attack all of them at once in these 4 weeks. It really is meant to be, kind of open your mind to it. What's most important right now in these 4 weeks? And then as I mentioned, it doesn't matter what program we go to, these are gonna be relevant. And from here on out, I will show you how to continue that in programs that we do. The programs basically switch up the workout protocol. But Stacked is gonna be a new precedent as far as how we can create customization in the programs so that we all get the most out of every single program. Okay, number 5, build your schedule. So once you go through steps 1 through 4, then you're going to build your custom schedule. And I want to show you guys that there's 2 different calendar options, and here's why. There's a black one and a white one. And you're like, okay, you just wanted a variety of styles. It was mostly me thinking through. I know some of you guys digitally write in your workouts. So if you want, you can do the black one just because it kind of matches the aesthetics of the program. And that way you can use it as a PDF on your computer and you can type into it. If you are a type of person that wants to print it out, then I wanted to save you some ink. So that's the reason for the white one. It saves you some ink when you're printing out that calendar for customization. I'm also working on some ways that I can infuse into our app a digital way to do it. So I am working on that as far as a plug-in option. But right here today and now when you're doing this, and maybe in the future if you're watching this, you're like, oh, we already have that option now. These are the 2 options for your calendars. So don't necessarily feel like you have to build out your entire 4 weeks. You can go week over week. Really, that's up to you to decide. And if you find a week that really works for you, you can just replicate it the next week after that. So that's kind of the overview of what the Stacked program is, how you're going to stack your workouts together. And I will take questions, of course, so drop them in the chat if you have any. And then I'm also going to be building you guys an FAQ that will live in our Stacked portal. So if you have questions in general, drop them in the community chat. I did an exclusive Stacked community chat because our other program chat just has a lot of different programs that we've been posting about. And I wanted this to be really top of mind and really exclusive for those of you guys that are in the program, so you can keep it from the program on this program in general. I do anticipate that this will take a little bit of time on the front end for you to figure out your schedule, but just know that the time you put into it is going to benefit you not only for the 4 weeks, but really long term. Again, if you have any questions and you want to reach out to me and have me help you figure out what your specific stack schedule should look like, I'm more than happy to do that. But I'm going to close out today's session with the top priorities, and I'll remind you again. 1, read your manual and plan. Number 2, prioritize your strength workouts and then build around that. Number 3, take a look at your goals and build your stacks and your add-ons around that. And then last but not least, I want you to pick a schedule, length of time, and number of days that's going to work for you long term so that you can see consistent, sustainable results and not just quick fixes. That's not what we're about. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm like looking at the clock going, wow, I carved out 30 minutes and that's exactly what we did today. So thank you for joining me live. I hope this was helpful. Again, if there's any other extending questions, reach out to me directly so that I can answer all of them for you. And I will see you in your stacked sessions because we're in the session right now. If you are not currently enrolled in the session, don't worry because you can absolutely still jump in and do it with us. So just go to, and I'm gonna probably do it in the replay, but just go to my website and it's bodbybree.com/stacked, STACKED, or you can download the Bod by Bree app. It's available in Google Play, it's available in the Apple App Store, and you just search Bod by Bree, download it. It's free to download, free to create an account, and then you can decide what kind of content you want to upgrade to. Stacked program, you can join as a non-member, you can join as a member. There's so many options. I'm all about the options, but as you know, options require a little bit of thought going into it. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will also be pushing out a brand new live schedule because there's some formats that I know we've been missing. So in addition to some of those HIIT workouts that I know you guys are going to be able to do and love, I also go around with all these different, well, I'm trying to find your HIIT one. But I'm going to be throwing in more of the drop. We got some more rhythmic stretch coming, and we have some more hip box coming, just a lot of fun stuff. And of course, kick it as always, right? Kick it Mondays. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this session was helpful, and I encourage you again to read your manual and read it again